everyone, welcome to this video for D100 Dungeon, the Adventurer's Companion. So we're going to take a look at book 2 in the series for D100 Dungeon. We're going to use the collector's edition, take a look at that. Okay, so if you haven't got book 1, you're going to need that to be able to use the Adventurer's Companion. So book 1 is the core rules for D100 Dungeon, and all of the products are reliant on this one book, so you're going to need a copy of that. Okay, so let's dive in, take a look. We'll go through the thumb through, and then what we do is we discuss the rules as we get to them and take a look at them. Okay, so first up is the Adventurer conversion rules. Okay, so if you're not aware, there is a print and play version of D100 Dungeon. It's available on Board Game Geek, and it's a basic version of version 3. So all the products that are available on DriveThruRPG and their associated sites, they're actually version 3 of D100 Dungeon. So there was 2 versions prior to that. Version 1 was the prototype of the game that I designed. Version 2 is an updated version of that prototype, and then version 3 is the actual game that's evolved from those 2 versions. So everything that's created new for D100 Dungeon now is in version 3. However, some people, and you can go on to Board Game Geek, download a copy of this, try the game out. It's very, very similar to version 3. There's a few extra bolt-on rules that got added to version 3, but basically, essentially, this print and play is the D100 Dungeon. So yeah, by all means, go and check that out and download that if you've not got the main rules. But what this section does is this allows you to actually take an adventurer from this version. So if you've played this and you've got an adventurer that you've been using on one of these type of adventure sheets, these rules will actually allow you to convert it over into a version 3 character that you can then carry on and play in D100 Dungeon. So that's quite handy if you've got some old version 1, version 2 adventurers. Okay, fast track. So adventurer fast track. So if you've played D100 Dungeon, you've created an adventurer and they've died and you need to create a new adventurer, what this does is this allows you to create one that's completed the first 5 dungeon training quests. So if you have to create a new adventure, you don't have to keep playing through those first 5 dungeon quests that you would normally have to do. This gets you quest ready so that you can then start rolling on the tables for your quests. Okay, so there's rules there about how many quests you've completed and failed and so forth. So that's quite good if you're wanting to create a quest ready adventurer. Okay, so some people might like to play multiplayer with D100 Dungeon. These are multiplayer rules. There's special rules about how you deal with certain elements of the game when you're playing with more than one player. You could also use this as a solo add-on so that you could take a party of adventurers down into your dungeon and perform quests. So you could create 3 or 4 different adventurers and be able to play like a party of adventurers as well. So, but essentially it's designed for individuals to represent each character, each adventurer in the game. Okay, so there's a quick section there about the encounter rule. So basically, if you played a bit of D100 Dungeon and you're rolling on the encounter table, when you've got a quest, you have a modifier, so you have to roll a D100 and you have to either add or subtract a value to that roll. And sometimes what it means is you end up always rolling 0 or less, or always rolling 100 or more, depending on the multiplier. So this is quickfire rules that allow you to, if you score 0 or less, you can roll some dice and generate a result of between 1 and 2 and 3 and 35, something like that. And also if you score over 101, you get to roll 2d10 plus 80 instead, so you can end up getting more varied monsters. That was the idea behind that, so that you wasn't always encountering giant rats at the bottom of encounter table E, or golden dragons at the top of the table. So I hope that makes sense. Okay, then we added, for this book, we added another encounter table, so there's lots more monsters that you can face in this book. Primarily this is surrounding around the campaign element of the book, which we'll look at in a moment. So there's some new monsters. I think there's some new monster abilities as well that have been added. So you've got monster abilities like Allies, Doppelganger, Frenzy, Leap, Petrify. So they add new monster abilities, spicing up your combat a bit. And we added some new hero paths. So if you fancied playing some different classes of adventurers, then you've got things like Knight, Paladin, Assassin, a Scoundrel, a Warlock, a Druid, a Barbarian, a Hunter, and an Arcane Wizard. Okay, and then some new races as well. So we added some new races. So you've got Halflings, Half Elves, Half Giants, High Elf, and Mountain Dwarf that you can play. Okay, then we introduced the Witchery Rules. So on the game, if you're rolling on some of these encounter tables, sometimes you get to loot monster parts. Well, the Witchery Rules allow you to brew them up into different potions and ointments. You can get specific monster parts like giant rats' ears and so forth, and cook them up and create these potions. And there's ways and rules there that go over how you create these formulas to be able to turn them into these ointments and potions. There's the witchery table there. So there's things like Strongo potion, adventurer gains +5 adjusted strength, and dexterity, apply to a weapon or armour, it gains +5 dexterity bonus. So anointments and potions there. Okay, there's some rules about creating your own quests. So what you're able to do is use these rules to generate the mechanics of quests. So if you've got an idea for a story, you can actually develop your own quest. And when I created these rules, it was I was hoping that players would create quests and share them to give other people options. So I was hoping that would have become a thing where you could create quests and share them on social media or on the MK Games discussion site. But as yet nobody's done that, so it'd be nice if we saw some actual homebrewed quests popping up. A little bit of information about how the skills are applied. Not really applied, but information of how the logic behind them and where you are most likely to use them. So for instance, locks you use to pick locks on doors and chests found throughout the dungeon. So it might be a bit useful when you're assigning experience for tests as to how you would apply those experience pips to those different individual skills. Okay, so Death Kill is basically about rolling surplus damage to defeat a monster. So if you rolled 10 or more damage that was above and beyond what you needed to kill a monster, then you've performed quite a death kill blow or a death kill shot on a monster, and so you get a reward for that using these rules here. So depending on where you struck the monster will give you a description, which is mostly applicable for bipeds, humanoid type characters as well. So for instance, if we done 10 damage in the torso area to a orc or something like that, it says a direct hit to its chest sends the monster sprawling backwards onto the floor and it's quickly killed. So there's a bit of narrative and instruction there, but essentially you'd get to add +5 to any of the reward tables that you rolled on. Okay, so now we move on to the campaign element. So in D100 Dungeon there's a world that's created called Terra, and Northreach is a continent within Terra itself. So we have the map of Northreach there, we have the information about how to play the campaign quest, and then there's some extra side quests that you can actually go off and do within this world. And then there's a campaign map here that allows you to track your progress through the campaign. So the yellow line is the movement of you across the world as you're performing different quests for the campaign, and then these coloured dots here, they're representing the side quests, and we'll have a look at those in a moment. Okay, a little bit of history about Northreach and the world of Terra itself, and then you've got the Goblin and the Goblet campaign quest, which is where you actually follow a story. You read that, tells you to go to read campaign quest 1, and then you're into the actual game. Each campaign quest is a quest that you have to perform, and you follow the instructions through the book, working through each individual quest as you go through. So there's quite a good storyline involved with the various campaigns that you find within the game. There's also special encounter tables that you'll be rolling on as well, with special objectives that need to be followed. Okay, so there's 20 of these quests in total. I'll thumb through these. Another special encounter table there. Okay, so on campaign quest 12, for instance, the Bog of the Dead, you have to do something in the Bog of the Dead, and there's another special encounter table to roll on. Okay, special information. And then when you get to, if you manage to survive and get to the end of the campaign quest, then you've reached number 20. And then on this particular campaign there's a decision to be made by you once you've completed the quest, but I won't go do too much details because I don't want to spoil the actual campaign quest if you're about to play it. And then here's all your side quests, so you can roll on them, and basically you'll be heading off to the campaign, different campaign areas to perform these quests. So they're alphabetical, I think it's A to Y, or A to Y, and so there's A, so you start off there, and then you head over to there to do that side quest. C is over there, and so this is the campaign quest, the side quest table. Add some more quests to the game. Okay, and then at the very back of the book we've got the encounter table that we added for quick reference, along with all the monster abilities that you've got there. Death kill table, so you can get to that fairly quickly. And then there's the campaign map. So the campaign map's available for download from the MK Games website, so you can check that out. And that pretty much concludes this video. Hope you enjoyed it. In the next video we'll be taking a look at book 3, so please do stay tuned for that. Until next time, take care.